Hey everyone, this is Walter, and I'm back here today with more posts I found on Reddit. Yes, once again, the subject is nice guys. The only requirement to be called a nice guy is a virtue claim, usually talking about how much better they are than other men, for various reasons. But they're probably not if they're in my video. Anyway, let's just get started with nice guys from Reddit. These posts come to us from Reddit nice guys. I genuinely feel bad for any girl I've been with that has to live with the regret of losing me. There's girls I've dated, even over a decade ago, still trying to get another chance with me. Some of them are in new relationships, and have had to settle for what I know they find less desirable, but they've settled for what they can get. They're beautiful women everywhere, but there actually aren't many good, attractive, hardworking men with high values and morals. Ladies, if you find one of these men, do all you can to hold on to him. Don't allow petty emotions and irrational decisions to cause you to lose a man that truly loves you. Any man who thinks highly of himself and knows his value will have no problem walking away from a relationship if he isn't being treated with the love and respect he knows he deserves. No girl that lost me has had their life improved by me no longer being a part of it. I guess this is Miley Cyrus's half-brother. Good thing they called him that because I've never heard of the guy. He looks like a total douchebag, which checks out because he sounds like one too. I get thinking highly of yourself, of course, but to think anyone you've ever left is doing worse because of it? Delusional. Someone needs to smack the shit out of this guy. I think this is about his last ex, Taylor. I follow her on Instagram and she started a new relationship a few months ago. He was super awful to her, drank too much, cheated on her, etc. And she always came back after they broke up. I'm wondering if he's lashing out so much because she's not coming back this time. The guy bragging about how he's a rare man of high values and good morals turns out to be a known cheater? I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but goddamn, dude. Oh my god, the same dude's on the front page of the subreddit for another post. What a clown he's been. There's so many girls that do OnlyFans that have lost their chance of ever settling down with a good guy with morals. They will try and call those men insecure for having standards. They get a lot of attention from guys on OnlyFans, so they think they have options. But any guy who is so desperate to see sexual content they're willing to pay for it is a desperate loser. Yeah, how dare these women use OnlyFans? They should try a more legitimate means to make their money, like riding their sister's coattails or being in a shitty scene band. A lot of successful guys will sleep with those girls, but they don't want to wife them. I see a lot of these girls speaking out on this now, saying they can't get a serious relationship. It's because men see the value in those girls strictly for sex. They don't look at those women and equate their value as a future wife, mother, or loyal partner. I know some amazing girls that are genuinely good people that do OnlyFans. I just think this independent mindset of not needing a man is extremely toxic and leads to a very lonely future. I hope more girls continue to speak up about this so other girls know the risk of getting into it. Having a good man and family will bring you more happiness in old age than OnlyFans ever could. I should mention this guy's shirtless in like all of his pictures. Is he really that different from an OnlyFans model? Sounds like he's been listening to Andrew Tate. You can always find these desperate professionals in their late 30s on dating apps. It's kind of sad because most of them miss out on good partners due to this incessant need to only focus on non-romantic pursuits, only to realize they never had a reason for the career, home, car, etc. when it's too late to have a family. Oh yeah, what's the point of owning things or being able to feed yourself or having any skills? What use is any of that in real life compared to having a partner, am I right? I think this fantasy is more of a coping mechanism. You rejected me now, but we'll see who's crying in their 40s. That'll show her. Please tell me that'll show her. Is she hearing this, bro? I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm pretty sure they're just fine with their careers and their money and their traveling and freedom and their friends, and maybe taking on a man now and then when they feel like it. These men just desperately wish for women to be unhappy and bitterly regret rejecting all the long-since forgotten creeps. Yeah, too bad he didn't mention cats. That's always the best part. Same thing happened between me and this girl. I told her I liked her, and I was literally the nicest guy ever. I gave her advice when she needed it, and I was there for her when nobody else was. And now here I am alone again because she got dry all of a sudden. Come to find out she's talking to another guy with the same name as me. I would never be the bad guy, but I just hate how females are like this. Women don't owe you love just because you were nice to them. When will males understand it? Reddit nice guy. Hold on, cause y'all expect for someone to love you, and then you leave when you realize they do and you go for another guy that doesn't give a shit, so? I'm the nicest guy ever, proceeds to tell that all females are the same. Basic nice guy rhetoric. Females are the same and basic. You realize that when they do that stupid shit in your face. It's mainly you morons in this generation, too. Wow, you sound like the nicest guy ever. Jealous of your future girlfriend. I'm sorry for her. She was mentally unstable anyway, and she e-dated. I don't date online, and I feel bad for you. You hate men in general. I bet you're a lesbian. And you definitely don't hate women. Just because it happened to you doesn't mean all women. You seem to have trouble with that word. Do this. Are we in a 3rd grade that I need to explain this to you? The level of projecting. I can say all men are rapists by using your logic, because a lot of men rape women. But you would say it's generalization. But your comments are not, right? Some men would blame the whole world, instead of just get therapy. Don't see how I'm projecting. It's her loss, not mine. Yeah, how is it her loss? Sounds like she did what she wanted to me. Personally, I like doing what I want. I will say her victory. I would smack the shit out of her right in front of you. Again, you're so nice. Can't imagine how she can leave someone that amazing. Who are all these women getting emotional support from random thirsty strangers online? There seems to be no end of nice guys claiming this kind of relationship with women who have no interest in them. I don't buy it. And yet I'm puzzled by what kind of interactions these guys are turning into their fantasy of being an emotional white knight. Are they inventing it out of whole cloth, or is there some sort of minimum interaction they are grossly misreading? Yeah, I think they either make it up or they're really trying to start in the friend zone and make it something else like a romantic comedy. Not great either way. There's a short story here in the comments. Pretty much this. I remember I made friends with this guy in an MMO. We played together now and then, and as a result we talked on occasion about life stuff. I was upfront with him from the get-go that I was a lesbian. I think one time I mentioned I was going through a hard time because he wanted to play and I wasn't feeling it, so I mentioned some of the troubles I was having, just to make it clear I wasn't up for gaming for a bit. And he started being like, "Oh, I'd take care of you. If you moved up here, you wouldn't even have to pay rent." And I was like, "No thank you, I'll manage." Then like a week later, I got an essay from him, freaking out about how he was in love with me, and he did everything for me, and I wasn't giving him the attention he deserved, and all women were the same, so I blocked him, lol. Ah man, one time I was playing a character on WoW named Fedora Milady, and guys still kept trying to hit on me. Because lady was in my name, presumably. Some of them are very thirsty. Do you realize how actually illogical that is? You were going to fall asleep, so you didn't want me to think you were ignoring me? Do you see what I mean when I say women are genuinely just dumb and indecisive? I literally am the sweetest guy up until someone does something that bugs the fuck out of me. And that's one of my things that I seriously find so annoying and sketchy. There was no reason to do that. If you did that now after just knowing each other, I can only imagine if you ever had something to hide, or for just any other reason. That fucking irks me, and I will 100% not feel the same. Simply how I am. You do stupid shit, you get a less sweet version of me, every single time. Have a good night. This guy seems violent without even alluding to violence. Don't annoy him in any way, because the devil shivers when the nice guy loses his patience. It was just brainless and a very shady move. I've seen everything you can think of by women. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I've been with and talked to more women than you'd ever believe. And over the phone stuff? Jesus, maybe 10,000? No idea. Unreal amount of women. I know how they work and how they do things. Every move has a purpose. And they all have similar traits. It gets old. I spot shit that you don't even know you do. I'm too smart for the little shit. I catch it all. There's categories of women, and I know how things play out every time with certain types. I've picked up a few things already from you. The more I talk to you, if I do, the more I'll find out. And we'll just see how things go. But that, even as insignificant as it may be in your eyes, it's still a thing. And it is not a good thing in any universe, lol. Shit's shady. But it's cool. I'm not mad. Just know it changes for sure how I see you and the version of me you get. You could definitely get my genuine full self back, but like I said, I'm extremely picky of who I let in, and I spot bullshit a mile away. So if you, for any reason, try and lie or be sneaky, just don't. It will never get by. Maybe a few hours, a day, or a week even. But it will always be found out eventually. Just an FYI. I am the sweetest guy up until you do anything that demonstrates independence for me, in which case I turn into a monster. Yes, that's literally how all abusers work. Yikes, I hope you stop talking to him immediately. Wait, so this was done just because you turned red receipts off? Or was it something else? I don't think there's anything that can defend this psychopath, I'm just wondering what the trigger here was. Yes, because I turned my red receipts off, and he noticed almost instantly, lol. Anyone who loses their mind over that obviously deserves to be mocked, even if they've had phone sex over 10,000 times. Weird flex. Unfortunately, a lot of girls/women are chasing douchebags that won't treat them right. I'm not saying this pertains to the OP, just a general observance. 8 to 10 women are chasing 8 to 10 guys who are only there for a pump and dump, while us 4 to 7s out here laying down over puddles, handing over our umbrellas, kneeling with hands over coals, and taking bullets for them. We accept this because we want them to be happy, even if they are not with us. We are the most empathic, the most reserved, but we are overlooked. We are out here waiting for our princesses and queens, but in their eyes we are just jesters or serfs. Just some allegories, but you guys know what I'm saying. I know everyone has preferences in looks and demeanors, but sometimes women will go search far and wide for Mr. Right and overlook the Mr. Right here under their nose. This guy's like, why can't I date out of my league even if I act like a total simp? Yeah, that's not a positive trait. Ah yes, there are only two kinds of men. The evil 8 to 10 chads with their pump and dump versus the nice guys with barrels of empathy who will naturally refuse to look at women below an 8. Current generation women. I want a man to come and treat me right and respect me. Also current generation women. Y'all want to see my pussy? Come support my OnlyFans. Get respect where it's given, darling. Ain't no man respecting a woman out here showing her goods to every person on their newsfeed. You want a real man? Show some restraint and some class. Now that's some real sexy shit right there. So if someone has an OnlyFans, they don't deserve basic respect. Spoken like the nicest guy you could ever meet, right? They're creating an imaginary person and situation to justify why they will never have meaningful intimacy with a woman. Let's read one more today. You ever heard a saying, women interested in man's future, men interested in woman's past? Well, most realist men going to ask you questions about the past, unless they don't care and are going to cheat on you anyways. I will never get why they ask so many questions that they obviously don't want to know the answer to. I will tell you like this, most real men, yes we do judge, because finding real love for us is an investment, and we're looking for a woman we can respect. To us, we can't respect a woman who doesn't respect herself. Which means we real men don't date cheaters or liars, we don't date strippers or hookers. We don't date women with high body count, or women who have ever had threesomes or friends with benefits situations. Because to me, if a woman ever considered freaky type behavior, then it is higher probability that she would consider that in the future and ruin the relationship. I feel like it's telling that this guy thinks a threesome or even friends with benefits situation is such freaky behavior. I'm sure he's a lot of fun. Do you want an investment which fails? Obviously we can't let y'all pay on the date because traditional men who raised correctly know since childhood that they have to pay on each date to take y'all out, which leads to one thing, an investment. Which we do from day one. So am I wrong to judge? No, I am not wrong for having standards for myself. For me, even if a woman was a stripper 10 years ago, my family would never accept that woman because I come from a traditional household. When a woman chose to disrespect her body, we can't have respect for her. Look everything I set up. That's how all real men are. Like me, I never accepted friends with benefits. I never even thought of having threesomes. I never cheated or lied, and all my sex came from a place of love and relationship. So I am a highly valued man who respects himself. Of course, it's a good thing to not be a cheater, but it's hardly enough to make you a high-value man. And let you look down your nose at any woman who's had sex for the purposes of fun rather than, love and relationship, or whatever this guy's talking about. The paying for women seems a little archaic too, like it was more necessary when women didn't work and some guys just still swear by it. Possibly because they want to throw it in their face later. Oh, there's some context. For a bit more context, this guy messaged me first, and after a couple messages, basically started to demand I tell him what happened in my last relationship. When I said I didn't want to talk about it, he said he needed to know if he could judge me on what I did in said relationship, whether I was a cheater or didn't put the work in. I told him that it was offensive for him to demand all that info, and that I wasn't alright with him judging me for stuff that happened in my past. My ex cheated on me multiple times over the course of 5 months, and we broke up mutually, for anyone that's wondering. And the guy answered with this wall of text. I told him I didn't read it because I wasn't interested in bullshit, so he called me ignorant. I told him it wasn't ignorance, just unwillingness to put up with bullshit, and proceeded to block/report him. Well, good. Obviously not compatible anyway. But that is about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the posts or about women with OnlyFans, which seems to be a theme today, let me hear it in the comments. Not one of them mentioned the men who use OnlyFans, of course. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same. And of course, part 3 in that story I'm reading. But now it's time to shout out my awesome patrons, who actually support me more directly over on Patreon. It's a huge help. Jimmo, Bartholomew Q. Wiener, welcome and thank you. Ennui Blue, Levon, Maxo11X, Chris Sturman, Charles Flute, Jade Demby, Alberto 2001, Big Mike Shirley, Cacti Lady Wither, Cho, Daniel Della Pena, Don Smith, Ouroboros, Sammy, Sazandora, Skepticals, Wernology, William Ash, Zephyrin, Bumbus McDunga, John Yorkie, Psychic Kumquat, Alex Anakin, Alan Fang, Francois Tremblay, Knit1 Code 2, Lil Spoon, Molly Mayhem, S. Johnson, and Petulant Panda. Thanks once again, you're all great. I'll be back with more crap as soon as I find something I want to read. Have a great day, everyone, and strive to be a high-value man. Unless you're a woman, I guess.